G'day guys, it's Morgan Joy here from Harcourt to Stute in Paddington, and we're lucky enough to be joined by PJ, the principal and owner for Harcourt to Stute. We're here to ask him a few questions regarding strata buildings. So PJ, first off, obviously we're starting to see a high level of interest for our open homes with units and townhouses now, which is actually generating a lot of applications, and sometimes we're actually achieving over the list price for a tenant to actually secure that property. So the first thing is I just want to ask you a quick question. What should a purchaser who's looking to jump into this market, what should they be looking for?
Okay, so hello everybody, thanks Morgan. So look, buying strata units, townhouses, okay, there's a million things to look out for, like it is for any property really, but to get down to the fundamental things, because we've heard a lot of things about units and townhouses, is look, do your homework first. So obviously that takes into account your outgoings, so your body corporates, your water, your rates, your expenses, and obviously calculate what's coming in per annum. Adding those together, obviously you want to have the smallest amount of outgoings and the highest amount of income.
Yeah.
But take into account that some fees do fluctuate. So if it's individually metered, obviously you charge a tenant water. If it's not, obviously you've got to cover those costs, so that can fluctuate through the seasons. You've got your body corporate fees, sometimes they do fluctuate if there's an expense for the building, but realistically the fundamentals of your outgoings and incomings are probably the core, okay? And something that doesn't need too much spending, obviously. You don't want to go in there and splash another X $1,000s on fixing it up, and then your numbers change a bit. So your homework and your figures and numbers, especially if you're buying for investment. Okay.
Well, why should somebody actually jump into the strata market? Because obviously there's been a lot of media coverage about the units and townhouses more of a recent time, and it's not really as positive as it should be. Why should somebody actually jump into this market?
Yeah, look, the media. Look, obviously, the public, the media. There's a lot of sources that are talking about the unit market. Now, why the unit market? Look, probably the most fundamental one. It's affordable. It's affordable for first home buyers. It's affordable for first time investors. So it's something that, generally speaking, you won't need a huge outlay, and it's your foot in the door, as they say, for the the investment world. It's to get in the market, and historically we haven't seen these really good returns and the yields on a unit. So it's actually not a bad time. So you got to look at a unit in the sense of, hey, listen, if my yields are good and they're strong, it's almost, in some cases, positively geared. Okay. Getting into the investment market, as we all know, cash is sometimes tight. So getting into something like this will, sort of relax the cash investment and sort of lets it trigger itself on. Okay. Let's, sort of take care of itself even to a degree. So it's a good starter. Okay. And of course, there are occasions where you find a really good one out there that really returns extremely well, but that's probably why I would say so.
Okay, no worries. Well, the last little question that we've got is, could you name a few notes, obviously branching into this market, a few little things, very, very basic, that they should think about when moving into this plan?
Okay, look, some of the things that I look for personally in the unit market, okay, I personally like small packs, so 8 to 10 units in a complex, okay, something built in the early 90s roughly, and double brick, okay, really good sort of quality and bones. Bigger living areas, bigger bedrooms, okay. Tenants do want the space, okay. Not to say the new stuff isn't good, however, because so it's brand spanking new, you got all the bells and whistles, but that would be one. Keeping your elevators and lifts and pools, try to keep those to them, I guess, as small as possible.
Minimum,
yeah, absolutely. Just to not have a high risk of the body corporate
fees. Correct.
That'll probably be my two main points as well, and of course the right suburb. Okay, nothing with a huge amount of supply. Keep that balance there, because if the demand stays hungry, the supply will obviously factor itself in and sort of take care of itself.
And that's a very important note as well. Obviously, if you are planning on branching into this market, that location can actually sometimes be the most important thing. Although you may find something that's affordable in a high level of interest suburb where there's so much on the market, you might be in a position where there's a long period of vacancy, and you actually might not see the return that you like. Whereas if you were to focus more on the demographic, what your target market is and where your property is, you actually might start to see your property rent very, very quickly each time it turns over, or have a tenant renew. So obviously that's another thing to
Speed's
keep
a
in
big
mind.
thing, absolutely.
Definitely.
Speed, you know, that factors in a lot of money. Having a week or two with no rent, you got to take that into account. I mean, the $10 difference in what you're trying to achieve, you know, $10 rent, you know, having no tenant for 2 weeks, you're probably better off having $10 less. Correct. You know, so keep all facets of investing in mind. You know, there's a lot of things to look at, and of course, you know, the area, as you said, is really important too.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys. Well, that's a few little notes to think of if you are branching into this market. Obviously, we've got a lot more information here. So if you want, feel free to give us a call on 07 3510 3511, and we'll be happy to take that call and look forward to working with you soon. Thanks, PJ.
Thanks, Morgan. Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks, guys.
Don't know how to keep you. Don't know